Well, I still don't know why I'm recording this or where it's gonna end up and why. Just kind of feel called to make a video about what I'm going through. Maybe in the hopes to reach out to somebody else. I know they're not alone, or they're not crazy. I don't even know how to explain what's going on in my life right now. I am currently separated and in the process of divorce with my husband. We were together for almost 9 years, married for about 6. October we would have actually celebrated our 6th year. But January of this year, something happened. We have 2 beautiful children. One of them is his stepchild. It is my daughter from a previous engagement. Around my birthday in November, we found out we were going to be welcoming another little one. And of course I was excited. I knew he was not going to be. I knew how he felt about having a third. And he's very much a planner. So he likes to have things planned and, a way to pay for this or a way to take care of that. And so unexpected shit like this does not sit well with him. So I could tell he was frustrated and, caught off guard and scared and pissed and pretty much every emotion. But his happy was, I don't want to say it wasn't there, but it wasn't. And as a woman who's married to this man, you're having his baby. Seeing him not happy hurts. It hurts really bad. So that's where we start. November, we found out. December goes by. And then the beginning of January, shit just hits the fan. It started slow. I don't know how you can slowly have shit fly into a fan, but anyway, it started out, well, I guess I should preface, about 3 years ago, I made the horrible, selfish, outlandishly god-awful thing I could do to my marriage. I made a choice to step out and have an affair. Now, it wasn't one that lasted for years, or have had it for years. It was a very random moment. And I'm not trying to justify what I did, but I also had a lot going on in my life at that time, and it was more family-oriented, centered. And I think what made it okay in my head, I guess, I really don't know, because it's not okay, and that's not something I'm proud of or do. I think through that, I felt I wasn't getting the support I needed from my husband. So I took that resentment and allowed it to help me make a decision that was stupid. Right. Okay. So he's found out 3 years ago, he doesn't know what he wants to do. We talk and we figure this out, and he chooses to stay mainly because of the kids. And then he talks to me and tells me, if I'm going to stay, these things need to change, A, B, C, D, or happen. And I said, you got it. Perfect. Like, what more could I get to keep my husband? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I get to keep him and all I got to do is this? Okay. So I'm super stoked. And I think my excitement for that came out a little too much. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I think he saw my excitement as like, haha, he didn't leave me, I got him, like in a negative way. And I'm just now learning to see a lot of the things that I've done and said, how they come off to him when I didn't really realize or see that perspective before. So 3 years ago, he decides to stay. We do ABC, hopefully over the next 3 years or over the years. And obviously it's something that's never going to go away. That's a scar, a permanent scar on a marriage. It's just the two people's choice on how it heals. I think we started off in a good spot where we were talking about it, and he told me what he needed from me, and I tried to explain to him. I let him ask me any questions. I gave him any answer he wanted. And I read things online. I listened to podcasts. I did things to learn how to mend that to my spouse when I'm the one that did it. And there's a book called Surviving My Spouse's Affair. And it's actually written so both people can read it and benefit from it. It's a really good book. So I tried things, right? Well, now we're here 3 years down the road, and I don't want to say we swept it under the rug, but we definitely took this broken item, like didn't even use Gorilla Glue, just kind of Elmer's glue, and tried to stick it back together. And then we put a bow on it, and we put it over here as like a pretty decoration. We didn't sweep it under the rug. It was still very much there in the room, obvious, held together by essentially water. So it's bound to fall apart, right? Like Elmer's glue is not strong enough to hold a marriage together. So yeah, here we are 3 years later. And of course, well, maybe you wouldn't assume, but it was his choice to file for divorce. Like I said, it started slow. That wasn't his first want out of the situation. He first came to me saying, hey, I don't know why, but I feel like I can't get over your affair. I don't know how to get past it. I don't know how to heal from it. Everybody's telling me I should just get over it because it's been 3 years. He's like, but I don't know why I can't, and I want help. And I was like, okay, totally understandable. And no, you shouldn't just get over it. That's horrible advice. And he said, well, why don't we try marriage counseling? I said, that sounds like a great idea. So as the person who did the damage, I chose to take initiative and research and reach out to marriage counselors in our area. Since I'm the one that broke it, I should be the one. Yes, it was his idea, but I felt like I needed to be the one to take initial action, because that would show that I still cared. I still wanted this, and I still was trying. So we found a place. We had one session, and it sucked because, you're meeting a therapist for the first time, and together, and you're explaining your life and what went wrong, and you're explaining to them all the negative things that have brought you here. None of it's positive, because what brought you here is not positive. So I left that session feeling like it was just a bash Brittany hour. But I knew going into it that was what it was going to feel like when I left, because he's telling his truth. He's telling how he feels to this therapist. He's telling him or her, whatever, telling the therapist, how he went through this. And so of course it's going to seem very negative, very pointing the finger at me, the whole time. And I knew that was going to happen because we were there for the mistake that I had made to him. If you want to say victim in this sense, he was the victim. So I understood going in, it wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't going to be fast. It was not going to be unemotional. It was something that wasn't going to have tears. And it wasn't something that was going to make me feel like shit a few times. But I wanted to, because I wanted my marriage. Again, my excitement wasn't because, haha, I got him, he stayed. It was, oh my God, like, I found somebody who actually loves me enough to stay and to do this. It was like amazement, excitement. So I'm doing this, and I'm trying, and I'm giving it my all in this session, and we leave, and we go home, and he asks, how do you think that went? And I said, I think it went really well. I was like, and I did. I wasn't lying. I was like, I think you said exactly your piece and exactly where you stand now. I think it was a very good representation to the therapist of what's happened, why it's happened, how you feel about it, and where you're at now. And I was like, but if I'm going to be completely honest, it felt like a let's bash Brittany for an hour session. And he gave me this weird look, and I said, look, I knew that was going to happen going in, especially on the initial appointment. We're there to tell them what's wrong so they can help us. I'm part of that wrong. So of course we're going to talk about it. And his expression kind of changed from to, okay. And I told him, I think this will be good for us. He agreed. After that, this is where it picks up speed, and I can't even tell you. I told myself I wasn't going to cry when I made this. I can't tell you the exact moment that the pretty little thing with the bow on it crumbled. But it happened really, really fast. So fast that I panicked. Because that's the type of personality I have. I panicked. I knew I was losing him, so I panicked. And I did the exact opposite of what he was asking for, which was space. And in my world, it's always been, if someone asks for space, they're leaving you. Asking for space is the start of them leaving you. So now I'm in full panic mode. Pregnant, 2 other kids. He's not coming home at night anymore. I'm in full on panic mode. So I'm doing anything and everything and scrambling to try and fix things, but I only made it worse. I made it a lot worse. And, of course, looking back on it now, I realize what I did and what I should have done and, and how I should have handled it, but I didn't. And that's part of what got me here. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I know a lot of people especially him, I think, don't feel that I've taken accountability for the things that have gone on. But I have tried to say and to reflect that, you know, this wasn't easy on me either. I wasn't skipping through sunflower fields happy because I got away with cheating. Like, I felt awful. I felt like a piece of shit person, because who does that? You literally, in your wedding, make a vow to be loyal to each other. And what's worse is my husband, he has like 3 or 4 main morals that he stands on and does not move on them. They are there. Those are his morals, his set code in life. One of them being loyalty. Loyalty is so fucking important to him. When he proposed that day, he sent me on a scavenger hunt. And I kid you not, I think loyalty was probably said over 25 times. And the letters and just the whole thing. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Because up until that point, that's all I had shown. Right? So when I realized, obviously I realized what I had done, but when the gravity of it, the severity of it really sunk in, I said, oh fuck. I broke one of the 4 main pillars his foundation stands on, and then asked him to stay, or asked him to still trust me. I take accountability. I know what I did was wrong. And then I know how I handled things from then on. Didn't make it better. In fact, it came off as me not trying, me not giving a damn. I came off to him as if I was a little kid who got in trouble and was sad about it and had a talk with my parent and then went and did the same thing again anyway. Now, no, I didn't cheat again, but he felt like the things he had asked for to be done or to do or to whatever weren't being done by me. And looking back on it now, I 100% agree with him. 99% agree with him. But in my head, that's not where I was at then. In my head, I was doing great, because he would bring it up and then I would talk to him about it and then he wouldn't bring it up again. So he feels better, right? Like, just things are getting better. And like, we have conversations about each little frustration with us. And again, we talk about it and then he doesn't bring it up again. So, okay, awesome. We're healing through these things. Yeah, boom, 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 over those 3 years. And then when this started hitting the fan, it came to light that there was no boom, boom, boom. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything in his eyes. And I know people will say, well, that's just his opinion, or girl, you probably were, and he's just not even seeing it. And it's like, the best quote I've ever learned from somebody is, their perspective is their reality. So how it was going for him, how he saw it, how he interpreted it, how he saw it unfolding in front of him, that's his reality. I'm not here to say that I didn't do those things. I can't tell him how to feel. I can't tell him that you can't be mad about that and things like that. Like, and people are always like, wow, it's like really understanding of you. And I look at him and I'm saying, yeah, because look how understanding he was with me. Well, we'll get to that. And so that was really hard to hear. It was a mirror being held up to me, and I didn't like what I saw. Didn't like what I saw at all. At first, since I didn't like what I saw, I tried to run and hide, and I tried to make excuse after excuse. I tried to justify, I tried to minimize, I tried to, tried every tactic to make that image in the mirror go away. And I think that's a normal reaction. You don't like what you see about yourself, you panic and you get scared. Well, then came the acceptance phase, and I chose to stare right at my reflection and see the things that needed to be changed. And I felt I was doing that. I have learned so much from this. It's not even funny. I was 23 when we met, and 27, 28 when we got married. I'm 31 now. And I can tell you I have matured in the most in the last, 9 years, but the last 5, a lot of growing up has been smashed into those 5 years. Not comfortably. But it needed to happen. And I'm thankful it happened. Even for the way it happened. It's how I had to learn the lesson. I clearly wasn't learning it any other way. So God, or whoever you believe in, was like, hello, do we have to do this? Okay, I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm going to say it loud for the people in the back. And he dropped that atomic bomb in my life, And it wasn't to punish me for cheating or punishing me for anything I'd done wrong. It was to help me grow. It was to help me see how selfish I can be sometimes, and how my reactions and actions come off to people totally the opposite of what I'm intending them to. And it just showed me a lot. It showed me I didn't show up for him in the way he needed. I didn't love him the way he needed to be loved. We are very polar opposites. So I did not understand his love language whatsoever, and he did not understand mine. We tried, but it didn't make sense to either of us. We couldn't understand each other. And that was the problem. That's what happened. I think it was all 9 years, and the affair happened in the middle. And it was a slow breakdown of us being able to understand each other. Without going into it, we got into a relationship really, really fast. And then thing after thing after thing happened in our lives. So it's like we never got the time to sit down and truly date and talk and be like, well, how do you like to be loved? How do you see somebody showing you love? Of course we talked about what's your favorite food and what's your favorite color, but the deeper shit, we didn't really have time or we never took the time to sit down and do that. And I think that's where it started. It started with us not even knowing that's how it would end. An innocent couple who thought the world of each other, and we had no idea that just because we didn't have that one conversation, it would lead to this. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the only thing, which probably is not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I think our communication, it was like he was speaking Spanish and I was speaking German. So we're trying to speak to each other I can't understand him. He can't understand me. I'm getting frustrated why he can't understand what I'm saying. He's getting frustrated because he doesn't understand why I can't understand what he's saying. And so there's this constant, and that's not comfortable in a relationship. It's not. And it started slow, and I think over the years it just got worse and worse and worse. And then the affair, and then worse and worse and worse, exponentially worse, because I think that just sped up that process after my affair. And I think it came to a point where he was like, I'm done trying to understand. I'm done. This is enough for me. I've done enough. I've had enough. I've heard enough. I'm done. And I'm done is the exact words he's used, which I don't blame him. I'm not throwing myself a pity party right now. I'm not trying to get sympathy. I'm not trying to play victim. I'm trying to start this video, trying to start a story for people to learn from, even if it's just one person that benefits from me making this right now because they're going through something similar, or just something resonates with them, that's okay. That's where I'm at, and I'm not the victim. Nobody's the victim in this story. It was two people who tried and didn't get it right. I don't like the blame game and who did more for who, and I don't want sympathy. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me because I learned a lot. So don't feel bad for me because I learned a lot, especially about myself. So hopefully the start of these videos, I might as well mention I have ADD, so these conversations are gonna go in and out. I'm trying to stay on track. So if there's anything I left as a cliffhanger, I apologize. That's just why I wanted to start these. I wanted to not only do it for myself, like to get it out. Maybe I won't even post them or put them anywhere. I don't know. But tonight I was praying about a lot of things. And for some reason, after I was done, I was kind of scrolling on my phone and about to read a book, and something said, just record that video, because I had been thinking about it, like, that's a good idea. And it was just in the back of my mind for weeks, and something just poked me really hard and said, make that video. So I did. And that's my ugly truth. Shit, maybe that's what I'll call this. My ugly truth. So I hope this can help people. I guess I'm not really after an outcome. I'm not after internet fame. I'm not after recognition or praise. I would have wanted to see this kind of video when I was going through it. I would wanted to have seen this if I had had the chance. And there were videos that I did see that reached out to me, and I'm sure those people have no idea. So I'm sure I will have no idea if I decide to post this. And I need to shut up now because it's been a half an hour. So I guess this is the start of our series, My Ugly Truth. If it's not ugly, you don't learn from it. Love you guys.